Y'all are gonna hear just AC stuff the whole time now. Ugh. This drives me insane. I'm getting a microphone on this thing. I wanted to have good audio. What's up, brother? Give me 1 second. I'll start paying attention more in just a moment. So I just went ahead and swapped to the phone. Just having fun. What's up, my friend? Well, this thing's killing me. I know I can get a mount for my phone. The phone was always... It's got to work on my phone. It wouldn't make any sense on this, but what I was trying to do earlier, and by what I'm trying to do, thank you so much. I got one, again, I was trying to do one of this storm. Let me pull off. See if I can get this. Just dropped y'all on the floor. Sorry, fellas. Oh my goodness, I just dropped y'all in a certain part of my seat. This is going to be a pain in the butt to get my phone out. Goodness. What happened to y'all, dude? What y'all doing under my seat? Y'all gotta hit the like button for that one. Oh, that's awesome, brother. Hold on. Let me get back over here. Dang, dude, of course. Yeah, it ain't gonna go. I fucked up my air vent with this phone mount. I don't have a mount for a camera or for my phone itself. Oh, I do have a mount. Let's see, right here. How does it look if we flop it around? That's what I'm nervous about. Ew, what's on my windshield? It's really focusing on the dash. Yeah, I know, right, brothers? Y'all gotta watch out. Your foreman's name is Andrew Harmon. Well, that ain't me. Dude, I'm May. Hey, dude, what's up, brother? Thank you so much for the UNC alert. I'm not really sure what that does, to be honest. What you know, I don't really know much about the gifts and stuff at this point. But thank you. Man, oh, there we go. Like, yeah, dude, y'all gotta watch out, dude. It's one of the worst things about not being on a job site is that we need dang porta potties around here or something. I think I have a phone mount or something somewhere where I can mount y'all a little bit different in a way that I would very much like to prefer. I'll put it in this, might be my backpack. Brother, just having fun. What's up, my man? I appreciate you. I'm going to try to find this phone mount. So we got a tropical storm going on right now. Obviously, that's the title of it all. My goodness, all these cards from ITS America. I need to contact some people. How much is too much math? It depends. Depends on who you're talking to, right? Was that the thing? Ha. All right, so here's a little thing right here. Let me see what I can get going. Let me see. Hold on now. We might be cooking with something here in a second. Oh, brother, you ain't got to tell me. I mean, today's nice because we got a tropical storm and it's producing a good amount of rain and everything. So it's been feeling pretty nice outside versus the typical, if you know what I'm saying. It has been boiling around here. I've been wanting to try to push more content. I'm really liking these city videos, going around and kind of doing tours and different things like that. I'm hoping y'all are enjoying some of those too. And just whatever else come up with and doing videos on that. But oh my goodness. I mean, not saying I'm not having fun, but dude, where did that mount just go? But yeah, dude, it is brutal outside. I mean, and honestly, though, I'd have been working in it too, so it's not like the end of the world. I still would have went to work. Still would have been going to work in the whole 9 yards. Screw this on. Meme, what's up, my friend? How can I do it? Man, you know what, actually? This can go... I can remove the one that's on for my other camera. I want to do this type of live and everything more often, too. Though, granted, how do y'all like it? Do y'all like the lives more on, like, mobile device like you're seeing here today? Or like you're seeing currently right now? Or do y'all prefer horizontal format for YouTube and everything? I mean, clearly, I would love to be on the full horizontal stuff. Pull a rabbit? Dude, a rabbit would be wild. I ain't gonna lie. I'm trying to think. Like, the crazy, just having fun. I appreciate you, brother. The craziest thing. Nah, this one, I just don't think it's gonna do it. I mean, I ain't trying to even say it would be cool. I just don't think this one's going to create the wind. And it's already almost past us. I think most of it we just got hit with already. So it's not like we got a lot more coming. That ain't gonna work. Can y'all go upside down in it? How do I unlock the orientation? Because I want y'all to roll. Are we serious? Would I have to end the live or something? Oops. Oh, my goodness. Hold on, hold on. Here I am again. You know, I think I'm just have to set this up a little different. I wanted to set y'all up on that. Dude, you're telling me I would have to start all over? Oh, my goodness, dude. I can't catch a break on these dang things. All right, hold on. Let me change it to over here, and I could stretch a couple things out. I think I can still make it work without changing it, dude. And I ain't gonna lie, I wish they had a freaking porta potty. I mean, I'd go by the truck right now, but there's DMR like sitting 2 cars behind me. That'd be kind of funny, honestly. Heck yeah, bro. I know I got to get back on to making some more of the merch and everything, because we were doing pretty well on merch, and we haven't had a sale in a few weeks now on the merch site, and I just haven't kept enough stuff in stock. There's shirts and things like that. Matter of fact, trafficlightdoctor.myshopify, I think is what it's called, .com. If y'all want any merch, any orders, tell me that you seen the live stream and you came for the live stream, and I'll throw in, you know, something extra, you know, to the order. If y'all make any orders here soon, just say you seen the video, you seen the live, and I'll be throwing some extra. Is it lagging? It's off the phone now. I can't believe it would be lagging now. If anything, I'm just struggling to get it all set up the way I'd want it to. I don't have so much rotation on that way. Which way pulls out on this thing, huh? Oh. I don't love how in my face the phone's gonna... Yeah, I know, right? Maybe this does it, and it won't be in the way of my steering wheel. Oh, yeah. Nothing. See if I was horizontal. I don't get why I can't get this to be further out, though. Well, that's awesome. I hope he still enjoys the videos and everything. Dude, why can't they make more things where you can't touch it? All right, guys, I think we may be cooking. We may be cooking with something, brothers. Oh, dude, just having fun. You've been there for a while, man. I know that. I know your username. You've been around for a minute, brother. I do appreciate it. No static from the microphone. That's awesome. I like to hear that. All right, we may get some more rain going. Again, I think this is allowed on YouTube. I think all of this is allowed and we're good. I'm not 100% certain. Ooh, that's one of my issues right there is this microphone. It kind of hits my hand. Can I pull my steering wheel out further? Yeah, there we go. Like I'm a... Samuel, how's it going, my friend? Hey, dude, the movies are fun, and man, one thing I wish I'd have known or kind of really thought more about when I was younger was, you know, my parents couldn't always afford anything and everything I wanted, the whole 9 yards. I wish maybe I don't even have a real good way of phrasing it, I guess. It kind of what I try to do with my children, kind of include them a little bit into the Mr. Devin. What was your other account's name on there? But a little bit of the finances and everything and being a little more transparent so that hopefully when my kids get into certain ages that they won't make the same mistakes that I made and that my parents made and this and that. And it would have been a good little life lesson to say, hey, you shouldn't go rack up credit card debt. Hey, you shouldn't go rack up this and that. Just, you know, not every birthday needs to be some crazy exaggerated party thing. Just enjoying ourselves on an evening or whatever. Like, that's a fine birthday and everything, too. Instead, my parents, you know, obviously would try to hide that a little bit more. And yes, very much happy birthday. Just having fun. But they would hide that a little bit more, and then I had to make them same mistakes when I got older. Or they would, you know, do the parties by, you know, credit cards or whatever, and build your wealth when you're a little bit younger and don't go into debt with so much things so that you can enjoy being the ages and doing, you can enjoy not being suffocated for the most part. That's where I'm getting at on there. And I didn't realize that at 12, 14, 16, whatever, those ages. Actually, I think by 16, I was already working my own job and doing everything then. So at that age, kind of more, I was starting to make the stupid life lessons and mistakes then. So, okay. How's it going, my friend? I was going to keep driving west because the storm's going west, but I think the bands of the storm are kind of going here. So let's shoot over, heck yeah, brother. Well, let's shoot over towards Ocean Springs area. Maybe drive down the beach there and kind of see how that's going for the time being. And we'll just keep on checking out the rest. One thing some of y'all may be into around here, not even around here, but just ones that work on lights and work, or maybe in a pretty cool town that you could show off maybe the traffic or the city and things like that. I want to start getting with more people, more contractors, more whatever, the cities, public works departments, whoever would want to show off like a little bit of their daily life work that they're doing, especially if it kind of configures into the traffic infrastructure or traffic industry too, and come showcase that area and come film it. I'll go work for a day, a couple days or whatever, and we can get a bunch of footage and then kind of promote, being like, hey, get more people into the line of work, especially if it's from people that contractors or cities or whatever that are looking for employees. We can get a little bit of footage and then hopefully help get a little bit of employees too, because there are plenty of open jobs throughout the country in this industry and in every kind of blue collar line of work that's not being fulfilled the way we need it to be fulfilled in this country. So how do you get your IMSA certs? You can sign up. What location you say? I mean, they got, I think that you can go to like certain areas, because they're moving more now, I think, with IMSA than they usually have, where they're just going to more and more locations to do the training. The best way, I will say, do is find a contractor or the city and get with them and have them pay for your certs, because it's not free. None of the IMSA certs are going to be free for you, and it's better to get the city, the state, or a contractor to pay for it. There we got one little rain band. Again, Pascagoula was looking wild. I got some videos and stuff like that I'm gonna get posted on that later today, probably. Do you need a year of technology experience for IMSA? No, you don't. Not for your level 1 certs on there. They may let you skip level 1 if you had more experience, but I'm not the person to ask 100% on that. But your level 1's like entry as it can get, of like traffic control, not gonna get yourself killed working next to the roadway, and working with them's a different story. If they have jobs and everything. But what IMSA does is you go get certified through them, and then they kind of help you find a job. It's not necessarily working for IMSA or that organization. They do have roles and people and employees and things like that. But more or less, they'll connect you with areas that are hiring, that are needing a technician, things like that too. But that would be you going and getting your level 1 cert. Again, that costs money, so I like the route of getting a company to pay for that stuff. So try to get a company to pay for your IMSA certifications. Nah, you really ain't gonna need OSHA 10. But man, your best route, again, get with a contractor, get with a company, get with somebody like that. Yeah, I know, right? Trying to check it out. So it's looking a little bit rough over here towards Ocean Springs. Y'all can't really see it yet, but we're about to pull into it, and I'll go into the beach area. Damn, a seagull looks like it's not even moving in the air. Thank you. Yeah, it's all on my iPhone now, on my phone. So you get as much as that for right now. Hey, and you're 16. Like, the issue was yeah, a little bit lag there. That was because of the phone call. You can go on the live and see if I'm live or something. Come. We're back. Ooh. Nah, it's my wife. She ruined the live on it. Chasing storms can be confusing. No, I can believe that. Look, I found the restroom I want. I'm not bringing the microphone in there with me. Dude, this water, though, look at that. Can you all see that very well? Probably. Gosh, dang it. The rain kind of messes with it a little bit. I'm going to leave. All right, leaving the microphone, too. I got to pee. Oh, brother. No. I did not bring the microphone. I thought about it. It'd have been funny. Yeah, that one didn't even have the urinal in there. That's unfortunate. I hate when it's like that and you just have to pee and then you got to smell the stank. Smell the stank of the freaking porta potty. Sheesh. Hey, y'all hit that like button. Make sure to hit the like button, you know. Oh, alrighty. Dang, there's a good amount of rain. It's like it's now coming through. I hate it. My phone's taken up, so I'm not able to look at the weather. But either way, let's keep driving down. This is Ocean Springs Front Beach that we're at currently. Little beach area here. This highway is not really crucial. Well, yes, sir. This, and it's not a highway, but this roadway right here is not crucial infrastructure in Ocean Springs. It's just the beach for the road that runs parallel with the beach to get down here. I do like this one though. You get all this parking, easy access to the beach, the whole 9 yards, versus other areas where you can't even park to use the beach. That would have been funny, the echoes. That water is up high right now, though. Clearly, got a storm. MUTCD compliance can be in, but do not block an intersection sign. Should not be black on orange. Instead, it should be black on white. Yeah, there's a lot of little things like that a lot of cities and places will get kind of messed up. I mean, heck, there was a sign earlier I could have taken a picture of, and it was on the signal pole saying where a location, and the coloring and the lettering was all off. I don't like when it's obvious. I mean, you go through any city, you're going to find like some incompliances with the MUTCD. It's only really bad when it's like an actual traffic control device that's not proper to the book. Then it becomes a pretty big issue. How many certifications do you need for working on signals, on traffic lights? What state? I mean, what state are you in? Don't say city or anything, but it really depends on the state. But this industry, and again, we're begging, like dying for workers and things like that. Not work necessarily. There's plenty of work out there. Arizona, man, I don't know everything about Arizona. You would have to look up maybe some of the requirements. But even then, you just start out as like a laborer. You're really just a helping hand with like a contractor or the city you come in with, and they'll teach you everything. It's on the job training. That's why I always try to tell people, like, everybody's always, what schooling do I need to do? What areas do I need to go do to learn this stuff or get into this line of work? It's like, if you want the dirt work and the hard work and everything, it's just about on the job training. Get on there and, get with the company that specializes in it, and then get to work, and everything else will kind of come with it. You don't have to put any money up front to get into this industry by any means. And that's almost any of the blue collar work out there. Try an apprenticeship or some kind of apprenticeship that you can come in and kind of learn as you go, and you get paid while you go too. I think college is the worst about it, of going in. There's good trade schools, I'll say, that are almost free to go to with some community colleges. That if you're looking to do any kind of schooling, that's probably the best line of setup to go to. If you want to go to school, go to a trade school for 2 years, or maybe not even a full 2-year program that they'll have in electrical work. That will also have like courses and blueprint readings and things like that too. Come out of that and get hired on right away with a contractor, and then you're a step ahead of the majority of the people that are actually getting hired on at that point. Yeah, exactly. Just make, trade school. I mean, there's so many little grants and things that will just pretty much cover 100% of the tuition at like a community college, um, or the smaller trade schools. Not even the smaller trade schools, just all trade schools in general. Uh, Even better if you can find like one of those sponsored programs that's sponsored through a company, and that company will pretty much hire the top percentage of the people that come out of those trade schools. That's a very good way to go, and that's through more than just the traffic industry and being in the traffic stuff. If you're really smart with it, or depending on where you want to go and how far you want to go, if you're just into the construction line of work and things like that, then the trade school is perfect. Come into that. But then if you wanted to go a little bit further and try to do like an associate's with some kind of civil engineering, you can do civil engineering, do traffic, and then get an internship with the city or state, and you'll pretty much be paid pretty well. I mean, very well, honestly. During the internship, during the training process, you'll still go to school. You'll be, and then hands-on. It's not hard, but it's time consuming because you're in school plus you're on the job training. Um, Mississippi does a lot of it. The MDOT will, where they have like engineers in training to internships with students, but they're usually paid. And if you get one of those engineering and training sections or whatever, you'll probably come out making $50,000 a year. And then while you're getting your degree plus you're getting on the job training, you'll pretty much come out of school with the degrees and already being a full engineer with the state. So good options, and they'll help cover the schooling. Yeah. If you got like career centers and things like that, there's so many. Look, man, there is no lack of hard work in this country. I mean, for the people that are out there that say they can't get jobs, they're just not wanting a job. There's 0% of like not work out there. There is so much work out there. I mean, we have over 1 million jobs, I want to say, that need to be filled in blue collar work. 750,000 out of trades. I think, that need to be filled between data centers, between traffic, between all this. But data centers are the big one right now for electrical lines work, for welders and electricians and things like that. And you come out making six figures, and there is hundreds of thousands of jobs. We have more jobs available in the trades than there are unemployed people. So there's no excuse to really be unemployed. Yeah, those classes will usually work together. The classes will work together on like the sponsored programs, especially when you're in high school, and then it works together. Like you'll almost be guaranteed a job coming out, or work as you learn to. Yeah, exactly. I mean that's disability. I think that's a whole different, scale. You put in your work and everything, an accident happened, you broke your back, something like that. I hope you're getting disability. I hope you're getting taken care of. That's where, as like a taxpayer, the honest people that actually have gone out and worked all their life and won all that, that's where like these social programs are great. You love them as long as they're not being, as long as it's not like a fraud case of it. But it's unfortunate that we have, obese people on unemployment or on EBT, and it doesn't make sense. That's where we don't even need to get into that conversation. We're just driving around here looking for a storm, huh? Y'all ever been downtown Ocean Springs? That's pretty much where we're at now. Um, does it count as experience? I mean, so how a resume works, you put all your stuff that you can down. So yes, very much. Just the schooling, even the like. I don't know if you get reward or awards and things like that in class. I mean, put that stuff down on your resume. Make your resume look real good. The only thing that really, really hurts a resume is no experience and too many job changes. Those two things will kill a resume. And when you're that age, the no experience is acceptable as long as you've been also learning and you don't have like some gaps in a period of like you left high school and then didn't do nothing but sat around for 2 years. That looks a little bit weird on a resume versus, ooh, yep, lady trying to jaywalk. Let her go. Bam, hit by a car. Yeah, yeah, dude, 35 years, brother. Again, you're not even a question on the concerns of, you know, properly use of social programs in the United States. It's a lot of it's the people that, oh, I got anxiety, I can't go to work. Oh, I got this or whatever, I can't go to work. And it's that's the unemployed. And then, food stamps is great for people that work more low wage jobs and things like that, where they're trying to work their way up. You know, that's where the programs are perfect for as well. But you also got to look like minimum wage in this country. I think like out of the legal civilians and everything in the country, the people that actually make only minimum wage, the 7.25 an hour, is at like 1%, 1 or 2% of the employed population. So very much, I would rather my tax money that I pay go to that stuff instead of foreign affairs, 100%. But we're about to sign like an over $1 trillion bill for our National Defense Authorization Act or whatever that they're going to be passing. That's also going to end up merging our military with Israel. A little crazy to me. Yeah. That is one of the antique pedestrian crossings over there in downtown uh, Ocean Springs. And yeah, sooner or later I'll have to do some meet and greets or something. I thought about doing some, but I man, I just got to get better at putting everything out there and setting it up and maybe doing something. It's not that I like this little sign. Those signs that continuously flash, they start becoming like, we don't even pay attention to it. Versus when something is not flashing at all and it starts flashing at you right in front of your face when it was off, you end up having like a knee-jerk reaction to take your foot off the gas. Yeah, I don't have any video ideals over in maybe in like Nevada or something. I could see where'd I want to do on the Hoover Dam. I was thinking that would be a pretty cool video to go see and do. Maybe a little bit of traffic in Vegas, Reno area or something like that too. Maybe around there. Reno's pretty far from Vegas actually. Maybe not there. But I don't have much interest on that side. Arizona and like New Mexico is like, I don't know what's out there. There ain't much. Desert. If I ever make a trip to California or something like that. And then other times, definitely like to try to get around and start meeting more people face to face. That would be really cool. This intersection, we did a few years ago. MDOT provided all the signal heads, but we rewired it, redid all the signals. Can't really see, but over to the right, we changed out the power situation to a power pedestal compared to what they had. I think it was just running off of the streetlight circuit, and the new cabinet, new detection. So, yeah, that was the issue. The heads they gave us, they did have visors, I want to say, at the time, but maybe those got blown off on the reds. There's a couple that are missing some. Well, they didn't have back plates, but it was the state provided. We didn't provide them, so. But we did that one and Washington Avenue, the one behind the other direction. How's it going, Hurricane? Trying to look for a hurricane. I was really hoping to do a video today about like showing the impacts of the weather in a storm. But I ain't gonna lie, we've had some couple of different rainstorms not long ago, past few weeks, that a bit worse than this storm. This one's an actual named tropical storm. Yeah, brother, on there. Again, I need to do some kind of event and actually set up. I think it'd be pretty cool. Set up like a meet and greet, give away a traffic light and a couple things or whatever too. Ooh, there we go, getting some rain. That was one cool thing going to ITS America. Just a lot of people stopped and said, "Hey man, been watching your videos for a while, this and that," and a lot of fans of the channel were there. They're pretty cool. Wherever it may be. Some other events, I know y'all may have seen another YouTuber, Kyle Miller. He makes some traffic light videos and things like that, but hopefully in the near future, we can get up there and me and him do a video together, a couple of videos together, and I think they have some kind of hobbyist meetup thing somewhere around Ohio or whatever. I think Ohio is one of them. Maybe it could all work out. Yeah, no, I'm all in for that. That's one of my big things. Like, I wish the videos were doing a little more views and everything on it. then it makes it a little easier for me to go and, I mean, obviously the videos are paying better and the whole 9 yards, and when it's not 1,000 degrees outside. But we're working on that. We're going to keep working on them, keep making them, and see where I can keep improving until we get some good videos and everything, some consistently good videos and stuff of doing some town tours. And then I would like to go just travel more throughout the country and just see different areas and different places and how they do their traffic and showcase that and show it off to everybody. So I think at this point, when a traffic light is being retired, as in replaced, are you able to ask them if you can keep one of the old heads or does this? So the contractor usually, salvages all the equipment afterwards of, upgrading a light. Pretty easy to probably get one from the contractor compared to the city or state. But if you see them actively working on it and tearing them down, asking for one, if you ask for one, then you're pretty likely to get one. Because we junk a lot of them, especially if you're like, I don't want your best, I just want one. And if you have a good attitude towards it, I bet you they'll end up giving you the best one they're tearing down and things like that too. I've given out dozens of lights like that outside of social media and videos and things, giving out dozens of just going through, and I've been like, we're tearing them down, and the guy asked for them or people asked for them, or heck, I think one job we did in Natchez after the work that I drove around, I had more lights than I could tow home, and we were finishing the project. So I was just driving around trying to give away like 4 or 5 lights. I think I gave away 2 that day and had to junk the rest, and then drove back with the rest of them too. Yeah, where you find one? I mean, if you get with like a signal contractor around and just ask them, they would probably sell you one pretty easy too. Because we just had a stockpile full of them ready for maintenance or emergencies just in case, or projects where you'd be like, all right, well, we can clean up a bunch of old heads and you're wanting a rewire, you want some fresh lights because yours are falling apart, or the city's is falling apart, something like that, and then we would just find some old ones that looked really well, and we would do that for a project. You want a doghouse? We had so many of those. I didn't have interest. I like the just normal left turns and stuff like that. I guess I should have at this point kept a doghouse, since that one's going to end up being replaced by the flashing yellow arrow for the most part in the United States. Yeah, and that's the thing. For new installs, the spec is probably going to go to the flashing yellow arrow. But it's funny how it all works. It's the same when the intersections are grandfathered in. Then as long as you maintain, you can kind of keep the same setup without upgrading. But if you're doing like a whole new project, then you got to upgrade to the new specs. I was the same ADA, but ADA compliancy, the disability compliancy stuff, made it real big for like certain push buttons for pedestrians and things like that. But on projects where we're just upgrading lights and you see an issue, we could replace a bulldog button, but we couldn't on full new installs. We couldn't install bulldog buttons versus the talk buttons and everything. But if we were adding to an existing intersection, we could use the bulldog buttons too. Yeah, like it's either that or like the temporary setup, because equipment's still such a long lead time and everything, and when they're ready to start working on the road work, sometimes you got to build a whole intersection out of wooden poles and span just to tear all that back down once you can get your mast arm intersection or something built up too. In temporary, or as long as an engineer kind of overrides it, and approves it, you kind of get away with what you want, as long as you're kind of still in compliance. See. That's strange. Never seen an FYA in Ohio. They are very much becoming the normal, so sooner or later you will. But that's also, again, a lot of places have warehouses full of ready equipment to go for maintenance. They'll maintain the dog houses and things like that for a long time. Like this road we're on currently right now, this is in the works for widen the roads and revamp most of the signals. Pretty much everything will end up going to mass storm and flashing yellow arrows. It's just the state spec at this point. So, and the state usually has a lot of influence over the cities. Sometimes it could be a little different, like big cities with big populations that have their own funding and they do all their maintenance. The state really can't say much about what they're doing, but they also then aren't going to be coming in and doing maintenance and things like that either. So a lot of small cities and towns, you'll see the state will kind of maintain or come in and help with maintenance and things like that too. So where when some cities are too big, they won't really come in there at all. They won't be allowed to come in there at all and really help out until certain traffic studies and things like that can be put on. And then the city itself can, like the city of Jackson, you usually ain't going to see the state guys actually working inside the city of Jackson. But the state will fund stuff if the city comes up with a project, does their traffic studies and say, hey, we got some dangerous roadways here or dangerous intersections here that can be used or do need improvements, and then they'll apply for a grant or apply for certain kind of funding from the state, and the state will fund it. So you get a lot of that too. But then again, the city has to go with the state spec at that point. By any chance, when you take down a signal, can you save one for me to have? I got a few more at the house and everything, and it's pretty easy for me to get a couple more. I got a couple in the garage right now I don't even care about, but I want to do one for a giveaway on the channel altogether. Would be good. Doghouse is going to be phased out through the United States. Most states won't allow them in order to get funding. Yeah. That's again that same point of like if the city does the maintenance and the state really doesn't have much of a say so until the city wants that outside funding, and then they just get kicked with the state spec and everything. That's why sometimes when you drive through a city, a couple intersections you may see a few that have flashing yellow arrows, have this and that. Oh, looks blurry. That just have certain things compared to the rest of the city, and it's because of the state, or maybe it's near interstates or whatever where the state already was going to fund that road anyways. So, yeah, in Toledo there was none. Seen FYAs for left turns in Dayton and its suburbs, like Fairborn, Riverside, Dayton, Ohio, maybe Ohio on there. I drove through Ohio not long ago. Or going up to Detroit and everything. So I actually liked it a lot. I liked Ohio. I like Detroit too. I don't think I would like their laws. I don't know much about the politics or policies or whatever up there in Minnesota and things like that compared to where I live now. So I don't know how much I'd actually enjoy staying up there and living up there, but man, maybe it's this side of the state that's actually getting a little more impact. Pascagoula police. yield signs that people refuse to read. Yeah. Yeah, I think I commented on back to somebody the other day where I'm like, no matter what, if common sense doesn't hold up in the court of law or whatever, and all it takes is like one stupid person with one, maybe proper right that they can have to sue a city, or proper case or whatever to sue the city, even though it's common sense that something shouldn't be utilized, that maybe a pedestrian or somebody's utilizing, they'll do it. Or the same with that sign, they'll see the green light and then they'll still try to sue the city when they get T-boned because they thought they had the right of way or something when they didn't. But that's why cities and everybody, you keep everything straight to the book, and it's hard for the city to ever be held liable for any of it. Around me with the 3M ones, we got a lot. Again, I did a video of Biloxi not long ago, and a bunch of 3M and McCain, I think, kind of took over in the early 2000s or something. Forget when they started with the programmable heads. So we got a little bit of a mix between the McCain heads and 3M heads around here. I got a McCain one in my garage. I got to strip down the paint and everything off of it, or the powder coat and everything off of it still, and repaint it. I tried to with a sander, but that was taking forever. I was just trying to smooth it out at first and then paint the bad spots. And at this point, I need to take it somewhere and get it sandblasted would probably be the best route to go. A right turn permissive only FYA. That's kind of cool. How much would it cost for you to get one off my... You see, that's my issue. I want to do giveaway for videos and everything over selling them. I did, I used to, our coworkers or whatever, whenever I used to work for the contractor, I did. I would often, give them. I didn't care if he would take them, or really any of our guys when they wanted some of the old lights and stuff like that, give them, and he would take a couple of the junk ones, just kind of wipe it down, clean it up a little bit, and then put an extension cord in there where it would work. And he was selling those for a few $100s each time. But I always like to just, $1. If you win the giveaway. What you got going on here? Nothing at all. Man, this storm ain't done nothing here on the Gulf Coast. When we get a good storm to come through, I'm definitely gonna get a pretty good video. I mean, I think it's cleared through the west side of the state altogether at this point. I mean, we're further inland now, but I think that thing's over in Louisiana. It was a 2-lane one? Unpermissive devil left. Yeah, places will do it. It is never recommended. You try your best. There's like few case scenarios that you would run like permissive left turns with 2 lanes, but it is super far in between, few and far in between. So you almost never do. What will happen is cities will be like, oh, we like the fact that you can yield to the left and we'll do it, and not look at the dangers of it. But yeah, it's never recommended to have the double lefts as permissives. It's kind of crazy somebody even drew up a job that had it, though. But I also have seen the double left turn lanes because it necks down in one area to a one lane, goes from like a 2-lane to a 1 lane on the through lanes, but they have 2 left turn lanes. And I've kind of left that as permissives with like 2 doghouse style heads on it, where it kind of works, but it's not my favorite setup either there. And it's pretty calm over this way. Yeah, that's my issue. I need a... Okay. Oh, I got those module heads like that too. That's a wind dampener on the all the way left side of that mast arm. It's kind of cool. But yep, I don't like that setup either on there. We have done in the past before some permissive only left turns just because of vehicle demand and everything. So it would only yield and never get an actual green light. But it was off of an intersection where if you get the right people in the... Yeah, somebody okayed the design. See, that's what happens. You'll have like a traffic engineer that knows everything, or I say knows everything, knows roadways, and specializes in a bunch, and then but doesn't know as much about signals and just kind of approves it and runs with it. Or maybe a contractor came up with it. I don't know to really say so, but it's not a recommendation. I don't think it goes against anything in the book, but it's not recommended. I could see that maybe on like a 3-way intersection. It's just that one side, and trying to think of good excuses, but I don't like it either. I will say, overall, though, I don't think there's an engineer out there that is actually in traffic that would ever purposefully, do something improper. Now, do they make mistakes? Do they not always keep up to date with everything? Yeah, but I don't think they're ever out there trying to trade issues. But then there's been cases out there too where some cities have like lowered the yellow light timings at certain intersections with higher speed limits because they have red light cameras, and like, how does that ever work, And if you ever get truly found out that was the reason and that you did this and somebody dies at your intersection, I mean, the hell of a lawsuit that you got on your hands because you wanted to make a little bit of extra money is insane. I guess some places maybe outweigh the revenue odds versus somebody actually getting in a wreck, dying, and knowing that there was an issue and would sue the city with it. But I think there was a handful of cities that got caught. Maybe not purposefully, but definitely it did happen when they ended up added some red light ticket cameras. Yeah. They wouldn't make it 1 lane. They would end up just making it a protective left turn only. And yeah, it's when it is a problem usually, or a citizen complaint or something. If you, man, I think I've seen that in Georgia a time or two also, where there's a hill coming up, and you're like, well, this just should never be a permissive left turn. You can't even see to yield to the traffic because of this hill. It needs to be a protected left turn only, but somebody has a flashing yellow arrow up there, and it doesn't make sense. I was always, what I liked about being DJ Dollar General, more educated or what. If there was something that just stuck out bad in front of us that didn't get caught by the engineer, didn't get caught by somebody, just like, hey, this don't seem like it's working out the way we want it to. We need to change this around, and it's easy to get with the engineer and kind of find a good solution at that point. Yeah, for the most part, brother. Dollar General every other couple miles. Yeah. While I'm live right now, I don't have the chance to actually get a link of the Discord. Because I think if I exit out of what I'm on my phone, then I'll end up ending the live will end or freeze or whatever. Oh yeah, this is where I started coming through. Used to work out there, that shipyard right there, where you see the big gantry crane and all the other cranes. Ingalls Shipbuilding. Worked out there for like 5 years. Fun work. Not really. I've always had a big thing for construction, though. I love working with the hands and just creating something out of nothing. Oh yeah, you're 100%, dude. Tennessee, I don't even know if y'all have Walmarts in Tennessee, dude. It's nothing but Dollar Generals, you know. My dad's side of the family's all from Bristol, Tennessee, so we go up there every now and again, and they're a little bit up in the mountains. They used to live in the city of Bristol, and before my grandpa passed away, and yeah, I know you have Walmarts. I was kind of joking with you there. But Bristol was nice. I tried making a video last time we went and visited, but ended up just hanging out with the family instead. About another one. Yeah, the Bristol, Virginia and Bristol, Tennessee, the state line or state road. It's cool. It is sunny at this point on the other side. Wonder how the water's looking now. Again, this is going to be the beginning of the video, or around the beginning of the video is over actually on the beach side of Pascagoula. We'll go check it out again. Yeah, I know Lego's in there. I don't know if he's able to create a link though and send it. Maybe able to send it to you. Oh, I got you. You're a G, brother. Man, I hate that I can't get one, or couldn't get one of my other cameras to work. We did all these intersections. I want to go show you all the beach and see how it looks down there first. But starting at this intersection are these be prepared to stop signs on this sign truss all the way down to Chevron Drive. I think we got like 8 or 9 intersections we did throughout here. We did them all to the mast arms that you're seeing there currently, along 90, and then revamped Market Street at the same time. That was a fun project. And they got some... Dang, lost the link. Oh, brother, I feel the same on that. I'm lucky I've had a handful of people, Lego included there, but a handful of people to just kind of help out the Discord server, and then I'm able to pop in, and a lot of them they got a lot of the quirks and issues of just where random people come in and end up botting the server or spamming the server. They got it kind of worked out. Downtown Pascagoula's got nice. I need to come do a walk around and do a video down here, or just throughout Pascagoula. This place used to be like, oh, let's just run these lights a little bit too. But Pascagoula used to be a little rough to get around. Not to get around, but just be around. You know, there's a lot of drug addicts usually around, but they've cleaned up a lot. Oh, there's plenty. And hopefully in that one they know, like, between MUTCD, non-compliancy, ADA, non-compliant, I really just combine it all, you know. Just, it's really just improper work, and like, why did they think it was okay to put this there? And I'm pretty like lenient on a lot of the stuff. There's some people that will critique like every font change to any of this and that or whatever of the non-MUTCD compliances. Dylan, how's it going? But some people that will like complain about like every little thing on it. I'm like, I don't think that's a big deal as long as, again, the traffic control devices are proper and signage isn't telling you to go drive into oncoming traffic or, you know, do anything improper and make a dangerous area. Then, you know, a little bit of leeway, but you got to be careful with a little bit of leeway, because you give an inch, any contractor or any person is going to take a mile. So, I understand the strictness of it too. I think we are on Pascagoula Street. Yeah, we are. Pascagoula Street right now in Pascagoula. This leads right into the beach. We'll hit the beach, drive down it, show you all that, then kind of loop back around onto 90, and hopefully get it to the point of where we're kind of at, like Chevron Drive and everything. If we talk about non-MUTCD compliance right there, those heads did not look to be, is it 8? It's either 8 or 9 feet apart from each other is the minimum. They were not. Left, yeah. Deaf child ahead. Good thing I'm blind. Can't even see the deaf child. Roy. God, I can't remember. 2 R's in a row. That's tough. Or Rory. How's it going, brother? Yeah, a little bit earlier. Again, I got good footage, some good footage and everything, especially at this beach over here with the storm coming in. Biloxi never got too bad. I was hoping whatever. I was hoping it was going to look a little rougher or whatever there. It was looking actually not that bad in Biloxi. But they're the ones that actually have like the highway right. Yeah, no luck finding a link. We'll make it happen. Just having fun. We'll make that happen. But they were the ones that actually have a lot more of a crucial intersection and crucial traffic there compared to Pascagoula. This one just has a road that runs down with bike lanes and stuff. One thing I do hate, there's like no parking around here for this beach. It isn't it's a nice beach and everything, but there's no parking to really get anywhere. Do you need any permits or service to do the work that you do? I mean, so like, as an employee for a company, no. As a company trying to do the work you want to do, then clearly it's like your electrical stuff or anything else you're ever going to build. You have to get the proper permits for it. Technically, a lot of them say like you got to have at least on the job and or like just in the company for the most part a certified like master electrician, so that but that's again for like pulling permits and things like that. You can kind of work around that if you had to. Technically supposed to have like IMSA certified person on the job, things like that. But overall, just to get out here and do the work, no, there's no real permits or certifications. But you also, you'll be working with a contractor or working with the state, city, whoever to get into the line of work. I want to say that Chevron, the refinery, everything further out, maybe able to see it. Yeah, this was about getting underwater here earlier today. Seems like a lot of the storm's gone away now. And just got some rough waters now from it. Nah, you don't need a lot, my man. You don't need a lot. You need working legs, 2 strong hands, and a good attitude. That's all you need. And then there's like benefits and plus sides. You'll more than likely end up getting your Class A or Class B CDL, commercial driver's license, and as you get with a company or contractor or whatever to work for, you'll get all that stuff. Oh, heck yeah, people back out there fishing. Dang, they got kids sitting there playing under. I don't know if I'd want my kids around this water right now. Losing connection. What a bummer. Losing internet service. I pay for freaking. Maybe back. Well, maybe the beach ain't the best internet connection area. Is that boat launch over there? I don't remember. I ain't been back this way. All the way back this way here in a moment. Dang, these are the nice houses of Pascagoula. Right off the bay. Bunch of them. Oh, brother. Sorry. This is the area. This is probably more retirement and everything too, because maybe Pascagoula school district's gotten a little better, but that was one of my complaints of coming this way. It's affordable, a lot more affordable here in this area than where I'm at too. But school districts, I'm not as much of a fan of my kids, and I really want somewhere a little bit more further away. Not to say Pascagoula ain't about that. You find that almost everywhere. Yes, sir. Make sure you watch the whole thing. That means so much to me. I appreciate you, my friend. When you see the video come out, just let it play all the way till the end. You as well, my friend. I hope you have a blessed day. Where does this one lead me to? Chico. Chico. Hey, she got a loud voice. Look at that beat up junk right there. These lights don't look too bad. Well, whatever they got mounted to this pole over here looks a bit rough. It clearly looks abandoned. Now the cabinet itself, that's over there. Oh, you know what? I think I was supposed to take a left. Oh well. I think we all make it. There's a taco truck somewhere back here. I think off Hospital. It is incredible food. When we were working out here, we used to hit it up all the time. Sheesh, doing some bores back here. Big old ditch witch. They shooting something new out here. New gas lines that look like. Dude, I saw a freaking Facebook post or something of just some of the dumbest stuff I've seen. I'm gonna keep going straight. Of some of the dumbest stuff I've seen, but one person, there was a post about somebody's gas bill, and this person commented on it and was like, it's real criminal that we even get charged for this stuff, since Jackson, Mississippi has like natural gas deposits and that's where they're getting it from, blah blah blah. If anything, they should be paying us to use their gas or this and that. And I'm like, brother, okay, because you're gonna build the infrastructure to get the gas from the earth, to every house where it needs to be supplied, to every building that it needs to be supplied at, where, everywhere it needs to go. You're not paying for the gas itself. You're paying for the infrastructure to put the gas to your damn house. And it's just crazy people even feel entitled to something like that. And it's like, dude, you would just never have it. If you were to claim that you shouldn't get charged for it at all, you would never have it, because you don't even know how to harness gas or natural resources from the freaking earth and then utilize it in your house, dude. Just my little rant right there. That's something I seen earlier that like ticked me off. Like, you're crazy. Plenty of span wire lights around here, tell you what. And you can tell they even have a hard time with them old saddles. See, something's rusted up there and just stuck, and then I had to put new saddles and heads. We got Chico Road, Chico Street. I don't know what it is. My GPS says Chico Street, and then this one says Road. I do recall, I think we had an issue with our street name signs on 90 in Chico because it said Road Street, whatever. We had to change it or something. There's funny things you almost never think of when, about somebody installing a traffic intersection. It's like the road, street, if it says the wrong thing, got to get it fixed. Yeah, the intersection down the road says the wrong one, and we checked that. Then we went over, and it's like, I don't know, man. Our GPS says one thing, the plans say one thing, and then looking around the area, they say another thing. Funny. Kebrin, what's up? Welcome back, brother. Kebrin, how's it going, my friend? Oh, smells like a skunk over here. Don't know what that could be. Lakeside Support Facility. I think that's a rehab or something like that. I guess that's what that would mean. Love the videos. I appreciate that, brother. I want to do a lot of that. Dude, great. That's what it's all about, man. Teaching in all kinds of ways, entertaining, fun, laughing, learning, and just enjoying the videos, enjoying whatever the content. If I can make one person smile, that's what it's all about, at the end of the day. That's what I like to do. Sometimes I offend people, I guess, maybe, but it is what it is. CJ, what's up, brother? Yeah, I think on one video not long ago, there was a gay bar that was in it. And I said, well, this is one of them fruity bars. And people said that was offensive. So, I don't know. Can't please everybody. But I'm not going to apologize for cracking a joke or whatever, I guess. Crank and shoot comment. Yeah, right. CJ, I appreciate that, brother. Thank you. I'm glad. I love that you enjoy the videos and watch them and everything. See, we did this intersection. That was part of this project. We're about to be back on Highway 90. This is a fun one. We're tied into the railroad tracks, but did the company ever actually hook up everything? I don't know. We hooked up everything on our end. It's kind of how it goes, working with the railroads and trying to get everything tied in properly. It's like we pull all this cable, a box, stub up a conduit, do whatever to get it there, and then we're not really allowed to touch anything close to the tracks, technically, for the most part. Some companies are easier than others. Yeah, I like them too. I like, the trains and the whole 9 yards. Like CSX has a big depot right down the road in the same direction that we're going. But construction work around them, they're a nightmare, dude. Nobody has a higher authority of the area than the railroad company. So, yeah, you have those conflicting issues when you need to work next to the railroad tracks. But technically, everything you do around them, you're supposed to communicate with the railroad company. And if you're too close, they want to send out a spotter. This spotter is like a $2,500 minimum and then charges you an hourly rate. And it's just for a dude to sit there and tell you if a train's coming. Like, I can have this 19-year-old kid with me tell me when a train's coming, and I can make the work happen or whatever and not have to pay you $2,500. But obviously it doesn't fly for the most part. I'd rather just ask for forgiveness over permission though, and just make the work happen. And I've done that plenty of times before too. And especially when the work is like, I need to be next to the tracks for 3 minutes. It's the only amount of time I need to be next to it or around the tracks. We're about to drive down, I guess, to Chevron Drive, and I'll do a U-turn and then head back through Pascagoula for the most part. But we were around the beaches and everything. I was losing some connection on the Pascagoula beach side versus we get to see all the people who got their license from a Cracker Jacks box. Yeah, nah, for sure. There's plenty of them. Plenty of them in Mississippi. We revamped these two intersections, but we didn't do new mast arms and poles. We pretty much kept the poles, some of the heads, and then redid the cabinets, added flashing yellow arrow, I think, on the other side, and communications. You can see up this pole right here. You can see the radio and the ITS system on top of it. Kind of close. And then we also had to do like a whole different aerial grounding system. That was kind of cool. Dang, worked hard for your permit. Now you got to get that. Yeah, get the license. Don't wait around. But we definitely could use better, education, driving education across the country. And I think that's coming back in play now. At least in Mississippi, I think it's about to be a requirement to do driver's education in school again to get your driver's license. So that's good. If you try to get your license at whatever the proper age is. I think once you turn 18, it kind of all goes out the wall, which I think is lame too. I think driver's ed and you getting your license should just be in the two same things. Like, why throughout high school is there not one like your normal driver's ed class, and then at the end of it like a 2-day long period where you're doing nothing but driving, or X amount of driving and riding along with others, and maybe a whole week of it, I don't know, where every day you're just going to it, and then the class teacher can do the driver's license instead of the DMV. Then we kill two birds with one stone. You take away a little bit of the congestion out of DMV, and obviously that's the place everyone hates. Damn, dude, did that power pedestal get hit again? It's so far off the road. You're getting your CDL at 18. Yeah, it's smart too. You won't be able to travel across state lines with it. At least I knew that was a rule for Mississippi. All of our guys that were under 18 or at 18 before 21, they couldn't drive across state lines, but they could have the commercial driver's license inside the state. Have you ever worked on a railroad crossing? Again, we were just talking a little bit about them, not necessarily worked on them, but we've done preemptions and stuff for the railroad crossing, so we got to tie into their relay and things like that. But again, the railroad company has like all the authority on the railroads, so they'll find their contractors, and that's usually separate from the work that we were doing. And pretty much once they find like a certain contractor they like in certain different areas, they don't change. There's like a few contractors, big contractors that will work independently with different railroad companies, and they really don't bid out and find different things. They don't have to do like a government bid where the lowest bidder wins or whatever. They just have a set price and everything already, and they work it with their contractors. And they have a whole different permits and things like that they got to get, so they don't want the new guys to always come around and try to work on the railroad, and then it's like a hassle. The same way as you wouldn't want just any electrical company to start working on traffic lights too. You'd prefer the specialized contractors or companies to work on them, just because it's a whole different field of things you got to deal with. No, so when you're 21, your commercial driver's license is throughout the country, you're like 100% good to go. And it may vary depending on the state, so don't take what I'm saying 100%. But the Mississippi CDL, commercial driver's license, again, is for the whole country. After you're 21, you can, start doing over the road, whatever. You can travel across state lines. But for ours, and maybe it was lower than 18, but I don't think you can get your CDL before you're 18. I think that kid was 19. We've had a couple of them that were under a certain age and got their CDL, and they weren't able to go across state lines with it. Though, granted, that kid may have been 17 and he was able to get his permit and his CDL, and something didn't work out. I don't know 100%. Yeah, you're better off asking Google for sure on there. Oh, no. You know what it is? He needed X amount of years of driving experience. So it wasn't that he would get 21. It was he got his driver's license at 18. And I think you had to have 2 years minimum to go outside of the state of holding a license altogether. So he was only allowed in Mississippi, I think, because of the driving experience he had. So he would have had to have waited till he was like 20 before he was able to get out. Yeah, on some of the stuff, you don't even need a Class B for everything anymore. I mean, a lot of our trucks we would run, you just needed there's like a light commercial driver's license, pretty much anything under 26,000 pounds. That's a smaller test, and our guys were able to get that instead. But certain trucks we have, are over 26,000 pounds. If you're towing with them, it has to be a Class A, I think. Things like that too. So it all changed like a couple of years ago, though. They never give up on the content because you do a great job. Keep up the good work. I appreciate that, CJ. Dude, when will the stream end? Probably gonna end it here soon. Just probably once I get outside of Pascagoula or go through Pascagoula again. Probably be gonna head and end it for that. I was thinking about doing some lives. My kids been wanting to. I mean, they like playing Fortnite and everything a lot right now. That ain't like the funnest thing to stream for me, at least. I play with them and everything. It's funny. But Grand Theft Auto, a different story, or different lines right there. We can go look at like non-MUTCD compliances in GTA. I think that'd be kind of funny. Oh, yeah, I may hop on a little bit later on today or tomorrow or something, or like we're talking about, maybe do like a Grand Theft Auto live or something like that, if I ain't out filming or doing whatever. Or we can go out and drive around again like we're doing today. I know that's been my big weight, Sam, is kind of like GTA 6 is coming out. I'll probably be streaming a good little handful of that when it first comes out. Hell, I went and bought a Xbox, more for the kids and everything to be playing in the living room. But that was also one of the things on it was like Grand Theft Auto 6, I think, is going to be an extra year almost, or at least expected to be like another year before it comes out on PC, on computer. So at least I have the Xbox. I can hook all that up and will I be there for your first live stream? Sure. I mean, if I see it on or whatever, you'd have to send it to me on whatever platform if I make it. I tried to. I've been, every now and again, I feel like I've been consuming more than creating lately. I'm going to blame the weather again. It's so freaking hot around here. That's kind of a dumb excuse, but do try to not consume as much as I create and everything. I like to create more, obviously, on some of the stuff. Thank you, CJ, for the gift. I appreciate that, brother. Yeah, that was the one I just went and bought. I bought it off of somebody on Facebook. I'm pretty sure the HDMI port's a little screwed up on it, but I got it working. And if I have to later, I'll just change out the HDMI port on its own. I got it for like $200, so it's cheaper. The gas prices, yeah, this gas station right here, 354 is what it says. I think it just went from 351 to 354. Ooh. What's up, channel? What's up, brother? Yes, sir. South Mississippi. I love Georgia too, man. Y'all have better weather than us, I will say. Y'all don't have that like crazy humid air usually. I say, let me think about it actually, because I got family in Georgia near like north of Atlanta. I like Atlanta too. It's fun. I feel like the summertime, so I don't feel like I'm about to die every time I stand outside in Georgia. And then Carolinas have nicer weather and everything too. Oh, that's awesome, brother. Good luck on it. I hope you do great on there. Dude, well, I'm just hoping GTA 6 runs fine on the Series X thing. As well would do good on there. Savannah, Georgia, and dudes, man, I'm telling you. So, thank you again for the gift. I appreciate the W. Some of the stuff I need to start doing more, and I'm planning on doing more, is I want to get with more and more like contractors or maybe somebody in the state or whoever would want to be featured on the channel, and we can come make a video. And whether it's just somebody want to show off their city and can walk around and go around and do it, and then or the work or something too. Just it ain't even got to be traffic light work, but traffic related work would be nice. But I'm down for just any kind of dirty work too, and kind of showcase that. I think it'd be cool. Kind of like Dirty Jobs, just come up and I'll strap a GoPro on the head and film the footage that I need to film around it and everything, and we'll show a whole day of work and hopefully get some people out there. Thank you, CJ, and show off, the line of work and stuff, and hopefully that would work. Vicksburg, I mean, I need to. I haven't been up to Vicksburg in a minute. In there, I was thinking this week Natchez, but then we had this storm that was supposed to be coming through. It ain't. I mean, I did a little bit. Got a video, I guess, can make out of it. But Natchez, there's a town not far from Natchez that's just a complete ghost town. I think it would be pretty cool video. So I got 2 there. What I need to do to get ahead and what would be cool and start kind of releasing more videos weekly would be like come through the city of Pascagoula, hit this one, spend a couple hours filming, and then change SD cards or whatever and jump to Moss Point, film a video, and then jump to wherever and just go start jumping to different cities. And same if I travel, then I can start stopping off a little bit more and checking out all these cities and things and making videos there. Peace out, just having fun. And then even more so, and then, at the same time, get with contractors or get with other guys that are in this line of work or in the blue collar, spectrum of it, and we can go film. Okay. Yeah, even that stuff too, man. It's cool to me. Like the inspection side of it. Now it has to be allowed and everything too. That's where I can see in traffic it can be a little bit of an issue. Government jobs, there's not as much of the yes guys that will just, whenever I ask, hey, can we do this? And they just say yes. Sometimes that throws me off a little bit. I'm like, I did not expect you to say yes. But I'm glad you did. Let's do it. And but things that like I'd like to be on the jobs and helping out. And hey, can I jump in that bucket and do this or that or whatever? Or let me do the work too. So But even the commercial construction inspections, I mean, just showing off that job and the task itself, I think that's really cool. Yeah, construction drawing reviews and everything. Now, do you go on site and do the inspection? That'd be the cool part. I mean, like, and you could showcase both of that. One of them could be, we can film a little bit. Here's the majority of the work, going over and planning and prepping and making sure things are getting done right. And then we got our each day, need to go spend 4 hours on the job too, or 3 hours on the job inspecting and making sure what's on paper is actually getting done in the real world. Mobile, yeah, that's one of the cities I need to jump to and do, actually. That's a good one too. In there. And what's even one day, brother, one day. But so Mobile is probably one on the list to come up and do in the near future. That'd be pretty cool. Especially they have a new bridge or something like that. They're about to start a new project. They're about to start in Mobile. That's a pretty big one. Thank you for the 100. And yeah, why change orders happen. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you can explain firsthand how much of a pain in the butt, you know, the process really is from going from you need that engineering change notice to a change order to an approved actual change order and so on, and all the steps, and why it's easier to pre-plan for things that may happen on a job than it is to just not have it on a project at all. I don't know how y'all do it in your state or how y'all end up doing it, and what we ended up learning in Mississippi, and just more or less how consistently things would start having issues with where we would have to do change orders. They ended up just getting smarter and getting ahead of it and putting bore footages on every project and saying, hey, 10 feet, and then all you need now, instead of a change order, all you need is an approval of overrun of that 10 feet of bore. If you did end up having an underground conduit, broken conduit or something, we can get a bore in there and not have to go through all the engineering approvals for it. So little workarounds that really helped expedite getting the job done. But then as a contractor too, there was the other side of that too, where sometimes when there's big issues and you have that broken underground bore and a couple other broken things, and you're sitting there all the work to figure out that this was broken. If we'd put it in a change order, we're getting paid for it for sure. That's why that 10-foot price, we would always, have a pretty stupid number in there for the 10-foot bore. And then if it happened and we needed it, we got paid pretty well for it. But we're also getting paid for the finding out that the bore was bad. Yeah, for sure. For sure. And, yeah. There's plenty of nightmares. To me, the further away from bureaucracy you can get, the more work you can actually get done. So you want as much pre-planned and ready to go once you actually get a job or once the job's actually open, versus trying to figure out this stuff when you're 2 months in. And then, out of discretion and everything too of your inspectors and engineers and things like that, if they clearly see something was a huge curveball on the project and we're pushing on getting damages or something like that because of working days on a job, I mean, there's ways to figure it out without having to argue for extra working days or actually hitting anybody with LDs. So yeah, it ain't. I mean, this morning in Pascagoula, it ran through pretty good, but now, I was hoping to get some good footage and everything of Biloxi Beach and the winds and everything, because you have the highway and the traffic lights and the beach and the water coming in. But Pascagoula seems to have gotten the bulk of the storm, and now this storm's all the way over in Louisiana for the most part. No, if you're down here, what was it, like a week ago or 2 weeks ago? We had like 3 or 4 thunderstorms come by that they were a lot more severe than this tropical storm going on right now. Heck, dude, there was one. You probably saw it if you live down here. You seen all the flooding that happened, like Iberville, maybe 2 weeks ago, through Iberville and a couple other areas. I mean, we got more rain than the drainage systems could keep up with in a small amount of time. Looks like the wind is cut back, and maybe now we're just getting a little bit of the rain from it. I don't. Well, you know what? Yeah, serves the same purpose to me. I always say whenever we're like hitting those drastic heat days, like triple digits every day in a row, like man, I would love a hurricane come through and cool everything down for a couple days. And this is about as light as it can get. This is the first time I've ever seen my truck say 80 degrees, in the past 2 months. It's been saying like 110 each day. Thank you, CJ. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, yeah. Again, yeah. You were here, or you're down here. Then you seen those were hectic for no apparent reason at all. They just came through. That is summertime though, down here in Mississippi. I can't tell you that same area we just left Pascagoula when we were working there that summer was a bit funny. We were doing foundations throughout the summertime, and it would just cutting for 15 minutes, super humid, 100 plus degrees. It was dreadful. Channels, thank you for the gold coin. I appreciate y'all. Latimer, yep, you ain't far at all, brother. Yeah, you were right there in the mix of it too. But that's where, I mean, Van Cleve's where I really wanted to be around, but I ended up moving, bought a house in Ocean Springs. But I hate the fact that I ended up buying in the city, where I want to be able to shoot guns and different things like that right in my backyard without going to jail. You know what I'm saying? I guess I need to just go get some suppressors, and I'd be good. Man, I ain't gonna lie. Driving through earlier today, and whenever right before the storm was actually hitting, MDOT, they pretty much had a truck set up every few intersections. They had guys set up and ready. They're paying their guys to just come out and sit and wait with some extra equipment just in case. Pretty smart, pretty good way of doing the maintenance on a storm like this. Clearly, there. What state, country do I live in? South Mississippi in the United States. I'm hoping by next year that I'll be doing like ITS Canada or something going up there. And then, if not even before then, maybe go with Kyle or somebody up there and do some videos in Canada. I really want to do a comparison. Canada has their own set of rules compared to the United States. Probably 90% of it is all the same as ours. And then there's like a few French influenced, pretty much signage things that are approved and allowed in their areas, um, which is where the differences are. Which would just be cool to kind of see all the differences, see the things that Canada has that you'd never see in the United States, or maybe in like certain areas, like small towns, they kind of get away with it, but in the broad spectrum of it, you won't see certain things that you'll see in California, or not California, Canada compared to here. That little small changes and differences. California is nice. Some like I'm jealous of some of the areas y'all have and weather that's consistently good. I don't think I'd ever want to go to LA or like San Francisco. And I mean, maybe touring around. I mean, heck, we can do a city tour of Skid Row, whatever. I don't know if that's really my cup of tea, though. There is some interesting things in California. I do like California is one that tries new things or does the studies, and or maybe a university or somewhere from elsewhere that's wanting to do a study in California is usually the one all for it. And they do some pretty different things. And I think the north, y'all have like a lot, maybe it's not mountains, but like hilly regions, plus all on the coastline and stuff like that, further north. I watch like Peter Santinella on YouTube, and he's gone through and done like California videos and stuff, and I'll watch them. I'm like, all right, that's pretty cool. I'd like to see a good handful of California. Not all of it, maybe, but a good handful. Don't think I'd ever want to live there. I don't think I could afford it, per se. Yeah, that's some of the areas that I did like that he went and traveled on was the North California area, um, and then they have like the desert area that kind of shoots into almost Mexico and everything. That seems kind of cool in California, and I mean they got iconic and like some beautiful areas and stuff like that, even within like LA or you know. San Diego is one of the ones that has some of the nice stuff. I've always seen the Atlantic Ocean and the Caribbeans, and not the Pacific Ocean as much. So, seeing the difference there, and I heard the Pacific Ocean is like middle of summer, even though it's 100 degrees outside, it stays more in the 60 degrees or something temperatures, water temperatures. That just seems cool to me. But I'm sure in the areas of cities, all cities have a little bit of a funk smell that I'm not a huge fan of. Kind of like somebody just utilized the corner to use the restroom. It just smells like that a lot in big cities. Yeah. Texas is an area I like a lot, but Texas is so vast too. Y'all have so many different things going on there all the time. But I like that oil industry and what you'll drive through in Texas, and then been through Houston a good amount. Houston's pretty nice. Galveston, and I haven't ever shot over, but I really want to go over to San Antonio, and then maybe jump from like San Antonio and go see what's your capital, man? Can't think of the name of it. Oh, Austin, Texas. Thank you for the 100 in the star. But go check out like Austin, Texas, and also see Dallas, Fort Worth. Be cool. May actually be doing a video over in Dallas, Fort Worth, not too long of now, with a LiDAR company. Shazaa, what's up, my friend? Channel, you want to go to Oxford and see the campus and see a game? Oxford, Mississippi? The other Oxford is what, like in England or something like that? So I'd imagine you're talking about Oxford, Mississippi. Look, I will say this. I've done work in Oxford. The campus is nice. Yeah. Dude, the nicest campus I've ever seen or been to is probably Tuscaloosa is really nice, but I think Auburn, Alabama has the nicer one, at least in like the south areas that I've been around. And thinking the areas. Auburn's really nice. You'd like that one. Ole Miss is nice too, though. I can't, but it's the same as like Mississippi State. You know, if you're there, you get outside of the campus, and it gets a little ran down pretty quick. Um, Same with Tuscaloosa though, but Tuscaloosa is like insanely pedestrian friendly. It's annoying if you drive into the college campus and try to find parking and stuff like that. It's a nightmare. But if you're walking around, there is so much there. You would like Ole Miss too, though. Those are like for me in the South because I'm all the way on the coast. There's no college campus that's even comes comparable to Ole Miss, Mississippi State's campus, Tuscaloosa, the University of Alabama, or Auburn. Those campuses are insanely nice. The Alabama ones. Yeah. Oh, I'm a bleed orange guy, man. I love Tennessee Volunteers. Knoxville is around the campus, beautiful. I don't think I've ever been too far onto the campus of Knoxville or of Tennessee's though. Same with Vanderbilt's. I need to get with the guy. I got a couple of numbers for that. Maybe I would go make a video like Nashville and what the Vanderbilt College. Be pretty cool. I'm sure they got a crazy nice campus there too. Do a video going to Mobile, Alabama. I haven't even seen. I'll have to look it up. I didn't know that they had like a traffic center or something like that down there. I'm 100% in for that. I'll go. It would actually work out great. I really want to do the Amtrak and shoot over from like Mobile to New Orleans and make a video of that. That can maybe work out perfect. Go over there and go see the traffic center, and then maybe do the Amtrak over to New Orleans, do a little bit of a video in New Orleans while doing the video of the Amtrak, and then get back on it and go back to Mobile. How do the stoplights know when a light breaks that the start flashing red? So they have a couple different things in there, but the main one that's going to catch it is a malfunction management unit or a conflict monitor. And pretty much any kind of fault that happens, and it monitors every voltage in the cabinet to what's in the field to, pretty much everything that's going on. That monitors it, and then if it sees a fault or a failure, it locks up the intersection and goes into flash right away. So, but the controller can also pick up some things and do a cabinet diagnostic flash or something like that, and it's a controller locking it up over the monitor. If you start having a loss of power and stuff like that, the cabinet itself will do it. And pretty much that flash circuit is always active. It's active 100% of the time. It's always running kind of in the background, and there's a relay that's there, our main bus relay, or there's the old school ones would be a Mercury relay, and it was actually Mercury that closed the relay itself. That's why it would get stuck. The Mercury would get stuck pretty often, and so sometimes you'll see a light that goes into flash, but it's still in operation too. Like you'll see it green on while it's flashing yellow or flashing red. It's because that main bus relay is having an issue. More modern ones are solid state. Not saying they won't have the issue. It's just very unlikely for them to have an issue. Usually, when they get hit by some extra voltage when it shouldn't have or something like that, you'll fry a component inside of it, and it will still allow that to happen. But it's super rare compared to the Mercury relays. Oh, same, yeah. After working at all this stuff, you pull up and what gets me is like I know what the issues are when you're sitting at an intersection and they don't, like, if the vehicle detection's bad or whatever's bad, or maybe even the timing is just pretty poor, you know, when you work on the intersections, you just spot everything. Doesn't make you hate every red light you get stopped at, though. Now I'm looking and I'm like, look at this junk or whatever. And heck, when like new intersections pop up too, and other contractors build a light, I'm always like, I want to get hit by a red light here. I like looking around and seeing how they did and this and that. Do you still fix traffic lights? Because I don't see troubleshooting videos anymore. It's a lot less. Like, you know, it's only for, I've done more phone calls and just kind of walked guys, the contractor I used to work for, whoever, walked guys through fixing lights or fixing this or that than really going out on site and doing it for the most part. So not as often, pretty much not at all, but I do miss it. I will say, if maintenance technician or whatever, if like the sole job was just fixing the lights and doing this and that, and not the management of a crew plus, you know, multiple jobs at one time, I like that stuff too. It picked the brain, but it's not so much. It's got to be so tempting to get out the toolbox and everything. Yeah. Again, whenever, if I like, especially in the local towns, like I live in this town that I'm driving through right now. When the lights are in flash here, and I see MDOT or anybody working on them, I usually pull over and I'll help them out and everything, just on the troubleshoot and stuff like that. So. Just because I'm super familiar. I mean, their guys should be too, but I'm pretty familiar with all the stuff we put up around here. And I can't think of any intersection I've ever been at that's in flash prior to getting there that I haven't gotten out of flash. So pretty somewhat good at it, I guess, or got it back working and running like it should at least. What advice would you give you to be a good traffic signal electrician? Man, I don't know how far you are along in your journey, if you've started in the whole 9 yards. But what I've always tried to tell the guys, because there's a lot of like day one guys that would come out first week or second week, and you know, they would want to get over my shoulder when I'm working in the cabinet or setting up a cabinet or programming buttons, controllers, whatever. And I'm like, look, you're nowhere near, nor do I even trust you to get around this stuff yet. I need you to be a master at digging a hole first. I need you to be a master at, you know, getting that concrete, it's really being a jack of all trades and a master of none or whatever. I really need you to like be really experienced and good at like hanging at a traffic light or wiring up the LEDs out there. And once you get that field knowledge going, the cabinet stuff starts making a lot more sense. But don't on your first day be like, I should be poking my head around here and doing this stuff. Just really listen to your journeyman or whoever's above you, and then it's repetition from there. You're going to constantly be doing a lot of the same stuff. Master, you know, doing great on pulling the cables, learn all the tricks for that, the whole 9 yards. And except the overtime, when you want to start learning more of the cabinet work and things like that, I mean, the call outs are where you're going to start learning all that stuff, and do enough of the overtime, do enough of the call outs and these emergency calls, and they're going to throw you into more of the cabinet work and start giving you more responsibilities, because you're just getting familiar with it constantly. And those call outs, if you got your journeyman or whatever with you, or a guy above you that you're going out there with and helping, just always ask those extra questions, and you'll see a lot more of the work, and you'll catch on a lot quicker. Sponge it up while you're working on it. Don't sit back on your phone. Don't be playing on your phone. Don't, things like that. When you're just the ground guy and you just got to move cones around or move a bucket truck around for a guy that's operating the bucket, stay off the phone. Be alert for the 18-wheelers that are coming for him. But not only that, be watching what he's doing and understand what he's doing So when you get up there, your questions are down to a minimum because you've seen them do all the work. You really already know what you're doing by the time you're thrown in there and get out the work. So, and then it's circuitry from there. So know where your cables are going and things like that. It's all in some of your videos that you can get a stoplight. That I can get a stoplight. Know how do you do that? Yeah, you'd have to ask that, man. Make the stoplight do what? You can pretty much make it do anything, honestly. However you want it to be set up, if you just know where power is going out. That's one thing in it. The controller, the cabinet, even the monitor, it can't see. It's colorblind, It only knows what you tell it for the most part, so I don't truly know what LED or what light it's illuminating. It only knows how you set it up and that you told it that, hey, this is a green that you're lighting up the whole 9 yards. So you can kind of make it do whatever you want. But as a liability, this is an area that's like a huge risk of liabilities and everything if there's an incident, especially when you're working on it, that, you wouldn't, there's no way in heck you'd just like tie all the greens together or do something funny like that. You know, not to get you in a lawsuit and fired. But say it's, normally flashing yellow and you're working on it, and it'd just be a lot easier to deal with the traffic if it was flashing red. Move your cables around, make it flash all red. Stop time is a thing that you can work. There's always usually an all red duration that happens when the red lights come out for about 1 second to 3 seconds. You can hit a stop time switch in there that locks the whole intersection up in red, allows you to get something done without fully having to stop you're stopping the traffic. You're fully stopping the traffic, but it's not you in the road stopping the traffic. It's the light stopping it. You get the work going. Once you're in the area where you can now free up the traffic again, you undo the switch and it just starts cycling like it should. But there's a lot of tips and tricks and things like that you can do. And usually on that all red, like if we're throwing span wire up or setting a mast arm, things like that, I would put it in all red, and then you got time to work without having 4 guys trying to stop traffic while having 3 more trying to hang the mast arm. We were always like a group of rednecks, I guess you can almost call it that. That's what some of the people would pretty much like classify all of us working and things like that. So we never really had much. I mean, we were doing projects often with just me and 1 guy or 2 guys, or 2 or 3 guys for the most part, and try to get as much work done as you can with that. But still, I mean, if you had to set a mast arm with 2 guys, then there's ways to do it. It's not fun. Third's always better to have. Thank you so much for the good videos you've done. Because of you, I've learned a lot of things about traffic lights and how to repair them, do maintenance. Yeah. I'm glad, because again, there was, howdy Nate, how's it going? But there was nothing of the sort, right? Like whenever I started working on traffic lights, there wasn't nobody making content and videos on how to do this or that. It's all just through what my bosses or whoever knew, down to then me of just like kind of coming up with it a lot of the times. And a lot of those videos too, it was just, I'm just coming up with shit through past experiences and things that I know what to do, and like I got to make it make sense of what I'm doing, and then I just do it. When you're moving in an active intersection, a span wire intersection from a pole, and you're just trying to get it to all happen and work out, and say you got to move one of these poles in the median away, and then you need to add some span, and you want to do it all without disconnecting the intersection and then stopping traffic and tearing down the lights. There's a lot you got to come up with, and how to make it work with just a couple come-alongs and maybe an auger truck or whatever. Hell, I would, I've hung an intersection, a span intersection up with a digger truck, rip the pole down, and then have to tie a new line from a different pole. it's pretty cool work, and a lot of it's just coming up as you go. And then the same, right now, this is a big open area. Like this intersection we're driving through looks pretty freaking easy. But a lot of times you get into these little tight areas in the cities and everything, you have these aerial lines that are very, I'll have to see your message. Dang it. The issue on the, and maybe you can get a link for the Discord and everything. But the stream, it's on my phone. I couldn't get it to work out of my GoPro or my other camera. I don't know why it wasn't working properly. But I can't get a link and then post it without disconnecting the stream altogether. Ever ran across super vintage gear still being used? Yeah, we took down a mechanical cabinet and like somewhere over a little bit Liberty, Mississippi, or somewhere over past like Macomb, Mississippi one time. That was pretty old. Come across where still hanging some like old, man. I didn't end up taking it. I really wish I did. There's some stuff in Oxford that was very unique and creative ways from the power company and doing their street lighting and stuff too. I have an old Eagle box in my garage. That's really cool. It's a small flasher cabinet. They had a straight up light switch in there. Is what they were using to. I have a YouTube video on that one. What they were using in like an old glass fuse or whatever too, that was powering the school flasher system. So this crossing guard used to have to open this thing up and flip a light switch in there. And then it was like tied to a fuse and tied to a load cell, and that was like making the bounce or the flash happen, or a flash circuit. Then we changed it all with some K&K system stuff. But there's always a bunch of old stuff, and you just make it work. I do. The incandescent ones, Lesville, yeah. Oh, that job when we just drove through Pascagoula, but that Pascagoula job, all the lights there prior. Majority of them were incandescent bulbs. Again, they made it like from straight after Hurricane Katrina. They were still up. So, and how, I don't know. They were so rusted, and we couldn't. The heads were so bad. I went up there to when we were tearing down the lights from the old span intersections when we were doing the mast arms. I would just take a sledgehammer, a mini mall hammer or whatever, go up there and break the plastic above it, cut the cable, and drop the head that way. The goose heads, like the pin to go through, everything was rust welded from like the salt air and stuff. It was crazy. I need to add YouTube mods, to add links, if you want to hop on in Discord call to set it up. DM4 may not do it here, maybe here in a little bit. We will, Nate. That is something. I haven't done much of like mods on YouTube or anything like that either. I'll have to definitely look into that. Now, Mississippi, so kind of, we've done them for ITS systems, and I've done a couple ATC cabinets for like small stuff, like a flasher from a blind turn flasher we did, but not on for our traffic lights, but just on ITS and like flasher cabinets and stuff like that. ATC cabinets at one point had a quicker lead time, a little after COVID. So we were able to get them a little bit quicker. So. And then outside of that, we had like a year-long lead time on cabinets at one point for traffic cabinets. It was bonkers. But yeah, I'm about to end the live. I'll just type in Discord. Yep. Sounds good, brother. I'm about to end the live. I'll be going that way, but maybe not jumping on the computer right away. I got to edit a little bit of the video, so want to get that done, hopefully post it today, but it's already 6 o'clock now. May not get it posted today. Either or, peace out, guys. I appreciate y'all for watching for so long and everything. Y'all are awesome. Do it again soon.